All statements and opinions expressed by guests of the Adult in the Room podcast are strictly their own and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or opinions of the host, producers, or advertisers. All interviews are presented in their most complete possible form in the interests of free speech. No statements should be interpreted as financial, legal, or medical advice. Listener and viewer discretion are strongly advised.
It's the Adult in the Room podcast with Victoria Taft. That's me.
A person I do like is Dan Sandini. He's on his phone. He's on a cruise ship or something. What are you doing?
I am on the Queen Mary 2 out of Southampton Docks in London, England, on my way to New York City, then home for the holidays. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But I was so upset by this.
Is that what the leisure class is doing?
Life doesn't suck, Victoria.
No, it doesn't. Good for you. I mean, you've had your
really is these Q&R cruises. This is the first one I've ever been on, and I can recommend that. But yeah.
Oh.
So it's really nice, very upscale, and there's no water slides. Just put it that way. It's not that kind of cruise at all.
No, yeah. We've been on one cruise. We took it to be with our friends, and we were just blown away. It was amazing, and it was a little river cruise, so it's one of those small boats and no kids.
Nice.
Stuff. The ones for old farts. Yeah, so
that's it.
That's what we
That's
get.
it. There's every on this boat's ready to be mothballed. That's what I said. Playing darts last. Oh no. They are the musicians. They are the musicians for the boat. That's why they're so young. That's what I was saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of tiny blunders, big disasters.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. let's talk.
He's redirecting me.
Down at the University of Oregon a week ago. Right?
Yeah, you are like a dog with a bone with this. You're on another part of the world, and this is a big, important deal to you. So
it really is. You get your teeth into something, and it just rubs you raw. And the thing is that you've got the live streamers, right? But there's so much left in the wake of the live streamers, right? That nobody stops to collect the mess and hold the left accountable, I guess. And that's what I view my role in this thing is, Victoria. And thank you for giving bandwidth to it. But about a week ago, Tommy Boy, this is Tommy for Trump. And if we lose track of the narrative here, people can go out to my blog, daylightdisinfectant.com. Just spell it out just like it is. You'll get the full story and the links to these guys. But Tommy Boy is a controversial figure up in Portland who is sort of a right-wing activist, provocateur, but a peaceful one, sort of a little bit more edgy than Charlie Kirk in terms of, and probably a little less erudite than Charlie, right? In terms of getting in the left's faces and saying things to them like trans women or men, right? They've managed to squash the Portland ICE protests down to its nothing. So it looks like they're looking for other things to do. So I was watching them on the live feed. They went down to University of Oregon down in
Eugene.
Right. So they went down there, and Tommy Boy got assaulted by the surprise when he showed up doing this down on the university campus. He had the left provoked by a member of the staff, Jack Kemp, who you'll find his picture out on my blog. Jack Kemp, who took whistles out there, Victoria, got in their faces, took out a bag of whistles during what would normally be working hours. We haven't established that he was working at the time. Okay, goes out there, and you can see him in the photo and in the video that's linked from Right Side Rebel. She's another sort of provocateur down there. But they're peaceful.
She's the one getting in all the fights. Whatever. We did talk to Honey Badger Mom about this earlier in the program, but not to the extent you are.
In her defense, okay. In her defense, I think that a lot of things happen off camera in terms of her, getting her phone knocked out of her hands and equipment damaged, and I've been there before too, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
Any case, but it ended up with this Jack Kemp guy inciting what I call inciting a riot. You watch the video and decide for yourself, folks, and the kids. Kids, these are grown adults, they're going to the university down there, ended up pelting Tommy Boy with tomatoes. And people say, okay, Dan, why are you making such a big frigging deal out of tomatoes? Because, Victoria, it's a fine line between tomatoes and bullets to the neck. Okay, the next week you're going to have people getting Charlie Kirk down there, and that's why, Tommy boy, I don't even know the guy. Okay, I don't know any of these people. All right, I know him from their live streams. Okay, but I just have worked it for so long there, Victoria, that I'm not going to let the left get away with it. I'm holding this guy accountable, and so that happened last Wednesday that he was assaulted, and by Friday we had the dean emailing me back through the president. All right, it took me getting the president involved, the university, John Schultz.
Good.
Okay, and the dean is it's Howard. Yeah, he's so far, he emailed me back and said, it's Dean Howard. He said, we're doing an investigation, and that's fine. And I think that's good that they're looking into this guy. But where did he get the whistles from? Right? Was he
Right.
on company time when he did it? Okay, why is he doing this? Why is he teaching kids to take whistles and shut down the free speech of a university? And he's definitely violating their code of conduct for faculty and staff. And what are you going to do about it, John Schultz? What are you going to do about it, Dean Howard? Okay, and I
Right.
haven't, and they are working their investigation, and you have to give it time through what's likely a human resources matter, right? But
Sure.
today I got so fed up, thinking about it today. I said, you know what? Who's funding these people? Where you were
Mhm.
saying that earlier, where do they get their
Sure.
money from? But
Sure.
right? Where do they get their
Mhm.
money from? And it occurred to me that they get hundreds of millions of dollars from Nike, right? So let's get Nike involved. So I emailed Nike, and yeah, I started to get them involved so they can see my email to Phil Knight personally, who is the president emeritus at Nike, up there in Portland, to him saying, hey, pretty much in a polite way, in my own polite, civil way, what the fuck? I can't say that. What the f? I'm sorry. What the f? Okay, is going on down at this university? Okay, where these kids are being allowed to pelt people with tomatoes. Okay, and so I guess what ends up in a call to action. I want people to focus. If anybody out there sees your podcast, go to my feed. It's at
Mhm.
Daylight Dis 1776. Okay, at Daylight Dis
On X.
1776 on
Mhm.
X, or daylightdisinfectant.com. You'll find all the links and the call to action of who to email. Email the president of the university, email the dean, tell them how you feel, email Phil Knight, tell him how you feel about Nike's money being spent down there with students pelting the Portland Patriots, who the next day, and you say, okay, so it's their fault, right? They went down there and behaved that way. Well, they did the same thing the next day down with the Beavers at Oregon State, right? And the whole thing was just normal. Okay, the civil
Oh,
dialogue.
seriously? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Okay, got it. Yeah. So
right.
that's how it is with Antifa. Yeah, when Patriot Prayer or Proud Boys. Enrique Tarrio was in Portland the other night, and they could just be there, and nothing will happen. It's not until Antifa gets there or someone starts, making a big deal about it and starting getting in people's faces and committing acts of violence, throwing tomatoes, unacceptable behavior. Absolutely. Boy is really
Last time I
annoying
was on, we had
sometimes.
Concrete Rock guy, right? Up in
Yeah.
Portland, right? Come up behind a
Yes.
guy with a big piece of concrete and hit the guy in the back of the head, and put him to the pavement and up in the hospital,
Hmm.
up at OHSU, same
Hmm.
day. So that's what it's coming. If you don't stop this,
It's going
if
to
you
get
don't
worse.
stop it, President Schultz, Dean Howard down there, if you're listening to my podcast, and I surely will email them a link to this when we're done and say, hey, I'm talking about this. What is going on down there? What's the status of the investigation? Thanksgiving Day is coming. Game day is coming. And if you think that I'm done making noise, okay, I can't make a lot of noise, okay, but I'm not going to shut up, okay, until Jack Kemp, okay, the guy with the whistles, who should be the responsible adult in the room podcast, right, is the guy who should be teaching the kids to be civil, and instead he's inciting a riot, all right, and likely caused this assault on Tommy Boy down there, okay?
Mhm.
So what's going on, and people should email and call. The telephone numbers and phones are wide open for Nike investor relations, for the dean and for the president, are all wide out on the open on their website. It's not like I'm doxing anybody. There's their email address and phone numbers. If you're concerned about how your taxpayer dollars are being spent, they
Yeah.
have great grants down there, right? If you're concerned about how your purchase of running shoes. I've run 22 marathons in Nikes. I mean, let Phil Knight know how you think his money is being poorly spent down there until they hold this guy accountable. Jack Kemp needs to go. That's what it says. It pretty much says that in my blog. Okay, that guy needs to go. He doesn't belong on a university campus. Okay, and that was my email to those guys. So that's what's going on, Victoria. It's still up in the air. It's a week out now, and I just finished emailing Phil Knight this morning and sent the email to him and posted it to my blog. And as of last Friday, it was an ongoing investigation. I keep checking the University of Oregon website to see if Jack Kemp's personnel profile is still there. It's still there. So I keep hoping that it won't be there one of these days when I go back to it. But yeah, that's what's going on.
Interesting. Good job. You keep making a big deal about it. I'm still going to write about it over at PJ Media, and it'll be in my West Coast Mest Coast update tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So stay tuned for that. Cool.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you having me on so much. I'll keep blogging it. Daylightdisinfectant.com. Please, everybody, email and call.
Dan Sandini, thank you so much. Oh, somebody says I look like an auntie. Well, yeah, probably. I've got several nieces and nephews. I mean, I always get, you get enough critical mass of people, and invariably someone calls or
you look
beautiful,
texts, Victoria.
I look like a man. I look like a man in a tranny, according to some people.
Oh, Victoria, I love you so much. You've done so much for the cause. When you were KPAM host up there too, we would have, Occupy would have gone on for another month if it wasn't for you. So
I went every day to Occupy. I did shows from Occupy on which you appeared. I mean,
that's right.
We loved it.
Famous photos of me. I'm probably wearing this now. I'm not wearing the same stuff, but pretty close. That I was wearing when I was sitting at that table with you. Yeah.
I have a question for you, and this has nothing to do with anything with respect to Antifa or anything. How many pairs of running shoes do you go through on a yearly basis?
It's a good trick. So you keep 3 going. If you have money, okay, you can avoid injury by keeping 3 pairs going that you rotate and take 1 day off a week. So you keep 3 pairs going for 3 months and you swap them out. So during the course of the year, that's 9 pair. And now they're over $200 a pair. So you do the math, you know what I mean? But that's how I do that. Yeah. But I log a lot of miles for the marathon. So
yeah.
So keep 3 pairs going. There's a good marathon hint for people.
Yeah, I used to go through when I was playing tennis a lot, which I spent hours a week doing that, and kept me sane. Some people would say it didn't, but I say it did. I would go through, I'd go through pairs per year. I mean, because you can't, unless you like having sore hips and knees. So anyway.
I don't want to put a brand name. I'm not using Phil Knight shoes right now, but I won't not right now. But I've used the Zoom Vomero and the Pegasus for many years, and I'm not going back to Nike for anything right now. It just pisses me off, Victoria. I'm sorry, but this whole thing just the whole leftist that you can go ahead and do anything you want to somebody like Tommy Boy, okay? But if they did that to they can do it to us at will, right? It doesn't matter, right, what they do, but they're never held accountable. The hypocrisy is so thick down there. It's sickening to me. The whole thing is just sickening. I won't let go of it, but I won't let it ruin my cruise. But please call and email the team.
Have fun. What time is it in where you are? What time is it? Like on Pacific Coast?
Time is 10 minutes past 9. We move it ahead 1 hour as we sail from east to west. So overnight tonight we move it ahead 1 hour as we're traveling along here. So it's a little bit difficult. I've got a watch that keeps 2 time zones, so I'm good. I kind of, it was a little bit tricky. This is likely one of the first live broadcasts from a cruise ship on one of these smaller podcasts, right? So there you go.
There you go. We appreciate it. I mean, it's awesome. Thank you so much, Dan Sandini. Daylight Disinfectant. Daylight Disinfectant.
Go there right now. I don't make any money off it at all. It's just for the altruism of it. Go ahead and take a look at the story. Thanks, Victoria. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. Daylight Dis on X and Daylight Dis 1776 on X. So he's been involved in the conservative movement a long time.